When I was in 8th grade, there was this couple at my school that would constantly get on my nerves. Every day after lunch, they would congregate in the middle of the hallway to hang out, and that was annoying enough. But on top of that, they had a group of about 15 cronies that would surround them and provide them moral support. I was like, how are you gonna be a yes man when you're 13 to another 13-year-old? To the people standing around the couple providing them support, you've literally chosen to be a side character in your own life. And it's like, I would be fine if this happened one day. I'd be fine if this happened even twice. But this would happen literally every single day as I was trying to get to class after lunch. That hallway was looking like a diabetic artery every single day. Like, please move, I'm trying to get to class. Like, I'm not trying to hate on y'all's relationship, but I got places to be. Clearly they were doing all of that just for the attention. Otherwise, why would they stand in the middle of the hallway? And it worked. I mean, even the teachers would be like, oh, look at them, so cute. As I'm trying to squeeze my way through this homunculus crowd that they had formed in the middle of the hallway. To be honest, I didn't even hate the guy really. I always thought he was a pretty chill dude and we got along pretty well. But his girl she was something else. She was a self-proclaimed popular girl, if that term even means anything anymore. She was the type to be making really awful jokes and laughing amongst herself and her friends while she was presenting in class. Like, I remember one time in my social studies class in 6th grade, she made this joke about how she was 5 feet 12 inches tall, and she started crying laughing to the entire class. Everyone was silent, I still remember it, but she and her friends just thought it was the funniest thing in the world. You've probably ran into this archetype of girl at least once in your life. They're kind of unavoidable, no matter how hard you try to block them from your peace. Textbook attention-hungry, annoying bitches. They come in all shapes and sizes, they come in all ages, but they're out there, and they're coming for you. Anyways, one day I finish lunch and I start heading to class, and the hallways were surprisingly empty. I was like, oh, this is nice. But as I head to class, I see the girl being consoled by a teacher with her cronies around her. I was like, oh snap, something horrible must have happened. Based off the way she was crying and based off the fact that a teacher was hugging her, I assumed that like a tragedy had happened in her family or she fell and got injured really badly. I was like, oh snap, like hopefully she's okay. But then I hear her say, I loved him. Why did he leave me? And I was like, oh, okay, she got dumped. And I'm not here to make fun of anyone's breakup, but I was kind of mad that this entire situation became like grade-wide news. Like even teachers were talking about how they broke up. I'm like, don't you have taxes to file or something? Like, what? When I got to class, the guy was already in there, which almost never happened. He always came in right before the bell because he was always hanging out with his girlfriend in the middle of the hallway. But he was in there that day, and I'm not gonna lie, this was kind of a dick move, but you know, I'm an asshole, so I had to do it. I went up to him and I was like, someone's in class early, and he was like, bro, you're such a dick. Yeah, I was proud of that one. But as annoying as that couple was, there was another type of couple in school that would really get under my skin because it affected people close to me. Now, if you don't have a friend who can relate to this story, consider yourself lucky. But if you do have a friend who can relate to this, you know my pain. You see, I had this friend throughout my childhood. We'll call him Eugene because he deserves to be called Eugene. Anyways, Eugene was a good kid. He played sports, he was a good student, he would hang out with the fellas. For all intents and purposes, he was one of the boys. But then high school came around, and in 10th grade, Eugene got a girlfriend. Now, I'm usually happy for my friends whenever they get into relationships because I like to see them thrive in all areas of their life. And at first, I was very happy for Eugene. But something strange started to happen to Eugene, and at first I couldn't really decipher it because it happened slowly over time. Over time, he started to become more timid, less confident. He started to stop saying anything controversial or potentially offensive. He really just stopped standing up for himself or having any sort of original personality. I was like, what happened to my boy? And then the day came that I finally met his girlfriend and everything immediately snapped into place. Eugene's girlfriend was this super annoying left-leaning girl that was kind of hypocritical also because she would never stand on any of her own values. Like, she claimed to be this gay rights activist, but also ate at Chick-fil-A daily. I guess she kind of made her boyfriend gay, so that kind of counts. And I feel a little bad for doing my boy Eugene dirty, but he was getting dog walked by this girl. Like, bro, have some respect. She straight up wore him down over time until he was fully submissive. And I'm not gonna lie, the toxic side of me kind of respects her. Like, you want a masterclass on how to control your partner? Take notes from this girl. But she really changed my boy Eugene, and that makes me sad. But you know, I feel like in every friend group that lasts throughout a childhood, this is bound to happen to at least one of the members. Another thing that's bound to happen at least once during your schooling is getting involved in a love triangle, and usually this is pretty annoying. I've told this story before, but I think it's worth mentioning again. When I was in 9th grade, there was these two girls that were best friends, and they both had a crush on me, and I would hang out with both of them at the same time. And as soon as one of them left, the other one would immediately start talking trash about her supposed best friend right behind her back. And I got super weirded out and eventually stopped talking to both of them. But it was super weird because theoretically this would be like a dream sitcom scenario. But in actuality, all it really did was expose me to the harsh reality of how shallow some girls' friendships are. That one situation was kind of responsible for me getting recruited into the Hoodville City Boy Army. Have you ever been in an incest friend group? These are kind of common in college, but I've definitely seen them in school as well. If you didn't know, an incest friend group is basically a kind of large friend group that has both guys and girls, and over time, everyone kind of ends up dating each other within the friend group. In some ways, it makes sense because you're in such close proximity to everyone within the friend group, so you'll eventually make your way around all the women in the friend group. But to me, it comes off as super unnatural. Like, I don't think I could ever date any of my friends' exes. Like, that's really strange behavior. Like, a couple months ago, I had a friend who got out of a really passionate relationship, and he and his ex were both super heartbroken, and they were both coping and taking it really badly. But then a couple months later, she ends up getting with one of his best friends, and I'm like, bro, that's insane behavior. She was like, he just helped me get through the breakup. He was always there for me emotionally whenever I needed him. I'm like, bro, that's insane behavior. That is not your friend. He was definitely plotting the entire time. Let me know any insane relationship stories you've had or heard of when you were in school in the comments. I'm really interested to hear what you have to say. Also, please follow me on Instagram. It's linked in the description, and you're gonna really want to see the posts that I have there.